Before we continue, I will just review the content that we covered in week 1 of Making the Leap. So last week we covered student engagement and success, and we defined what student engagement meant. We highlighted to you that student engagement is the level of commitment that you provide to the university as well as the supports provided to you by the university. We also covered transitioning, and including the complications that may arise from transitioning into third level and the differences between second and third level education, along with the differences that will be brought about by COVID-19 this year. And finally, we covered how to make your first year a success by availing of supports that are available to you, and went through some expectation setting, including your experience of university and your lecturers. In session 2, we are going to cover some very practical advice that would be very useful to you throughout your time in UL. First off, we will be telling you how to make your first year a success by going through some attendance issues, highlighting the need to adhere to your timetable and why it is important to attend your lectures, and we will also go through some time management exercises. Time management is very important at university, and it will be particularly important for you as you are juggling your time between online lectures and physical campus setting. We will also highlight how to plan for assessment throughout the academic term, and this is going to be particularly important for you this year as you will be faced with continuous assessment, particularly throughout semester 1. We will also highlight the supports that are available to you on campus and highlight how UL can support you for the year ahead. The key messages here will put you in a position to understand how to engage and succeed in UL. And for those of you who are not coming directly from second level, your experience will be as valuable as any here. And this is particularly relevant to our mature student cohort.
One of the things that many of you may have been looking forward to is the feeling that attendance is optional in college. However, attendance is a better predictor of third level grades than any second level achievements, no matter how many points you have, than your study skills or the amount of time you spend studying. So this is going to be the very same in an online environment. The live synchronous lectures, you need to attend those. And there will be opportunities for interactions there with lecturers and classmates that are very difficult to experience if you're just playing back the recording. Some lectures may be recorded or asynchronous, but we strongly recommend you attend them at the scheduled times. There's a huge danger this year in thinking that you'll catch up later, and it's a substandard experience if you're just going to depend on recordings. So this semester is going to look very different for you, but you do need to have that discipline with yourself to attend as if you were on campus and were walking to classes, and try and make all your classes at the scheduled times. It will give you a good routine and help you succeed. So when should you start working towards your assessments? This year, the majority of modules are using continuous assessment. You need to know the assessment requirements for each module from week 1. These can be found in your module outline. It's also important to note for all the common entry programs, your QCA is the basis on which the programs will allocate your places for year 2, where supply exceeds demand. Ensure you have an idea of the second year program you want and what you need to achieve this. This is something I deal with every year, where people are very disappointed that they didn't get their choice. So at least know exactly what you need to achieve and put your best foot forward in trying to get that. Identify all the assessment dates and the percentages they are worth, and be organised. Do this from week 1 and follow Brendan's advice in the short video to follow.
We've created this very useful flyer titled Succeeding and Surviving in Your First Year at UL. In this flyer, you will find a list of all of the supports that are available to you as first years in the University of Limerick. This interactive flyer breaks down the supports into 3 main categories: academic issues, financial issues, and personal or social issues. Within these 3 categories, you are likely to find a contact who will answer whatever it is, be it your query or problem that you're facing. For example, you will find the contact details of Deirdre, the first year support coordinator, who can help you if you think you might be in the wrong course, or if you're struggling academically, or if you think you might be falling behind in something. You also have my contact details, along with the webpage for the first year experience LibGuide. You will find contact details for all of the campus learning centres. And in terms of financial issues, there will be a contact for the student fees office. You will find the contact details for student information and support coordinator at Student Life, and details for the Bank of Ireland. For personal or social issues, there is contact details for the student counselling service, the health centre, the chaplaincy, Teach Fáilte, and the student sabbatical officers. Please feel free to contact any of these people if you are facing any challenges. Virtual guides. At this point, please pause the video. Talk through the task instructions and send students to the breakout rooms to complete this group task.
A little bit earlier on, I spoke about the fact that students can have difficulty in adjusting to the juggling that might happen when you come to third level, fitting in your studies, which are in a new environment and in a different way, with the other activities in your life. So this is a really simple and easy way of plotting out your time, both in your personal life, in your academic life, in order to get a grip with where your time goes and where you might need to allocate your time. So I'm going to bring you through some details in relation to this. There are 5 prompts on this particular Spark resource, and the 5 prompts are to basically get you to consider and get you thinking about how do you spend your time. And the first prompt that you're prompted to include on this particular resource is to plot out your academic timetable and put all of your contact hours that you have in UL onto this timetable, and that's represented on this particular slide in all of the green slots. So you can see where I've got the letters LEC, that refers to a lecture, TUT refers to a tutorial, and then some people will have labs, like the example on a Thursday morning. So you plot those in the first instance to know when you need to be in contact with UL and when you need to be engaged with your studies. The second then prompt that you're given is to outline any other preset commitments. Preset commitments could be things like a part-time job, it could be a commute that you might have in order to get to UL. And they're represented in this slide through both the light blue and the dark blue squares. So you can see there on a Monday morning taking account for travelling 30 minutes, the same on a Wednesday morning. And then on a Tuesday evening, you can see their work is being accounted for, similarly on a Friday evening and on a Saturday evening. They're plotted as well. The third prompt then to consider is, what activities do you undertake that keep you healthy? So for example, that could be exercise, it could be hobbies, it could be socializing, it could be food shopping. And they're represented here by both the kind of orange and the pink kind of red colour squares. So examples of those would be there on a Thursday evening, you have basketball training scheduled there from 7 to 9 because you're part of a team. And then afterwards there's a night out or there's a cinema accounted for on that evening. So that's an example there. The fourth prompt then that you need to consider is, where might you need preparatory time for work that you need to be on top of in advance of going into a lecture or a tutorial or a lab? And that's plotted out here in the kind of beige colour, where you see there on a Monday afternoon, Monday evening, I've plotted out the need for time for preparing for a French and a physiology lab, or extra work that need to be done, or weekly assignments that need to be done. And then the fifth piece that you need to take into consideration is, where will you have time for extra study or for working on major assignments? And they're represented here in the yellow blocks. So once you have plotted, what you can see from this is, once you have plotted all of these various parts of your life, both personal and academic, you've got a fairly busy week. But what this would help you to do is, this will help you to keep on top of things, know that you're organised, and know where your time allocation is going, just so that you can feel that you're more on top of and in control of what's going on.
Virtual guides. At this point, please pause the video. Talk through the task instructions and send students to the breakout rooms to complete this group task.
Time management is one of the areas that new students can often have some difficulty with and takes a little bit of time to crack. But this assessment planner is a really handy resource in order to get yourself organised for the semester ahead. Particularly this semester, you have a situation where the majority of your assessment is going to be done on a continuous basis, and there probably for most people won't be end of semester exams which ordinarily take place. So this assessment planner sets out down the left hand column the weeks from 1 to 12, which are the weeks of this semester, and then across the top they note each of the modules. Most people have 5 modules, so the idea is that you will plot what assessment is due for each module in whatever week is necessary. This slide is just going to give you an example of how to put this assessment planner into practice. So for example, if we take one module, I've just taken a random module. This isn't obviously your assessment plan for the semester, but if I take a module, for example, chemistry for engineers, I look to see what it is in my module outline that I'm being asked to deliver on in that module for the first semester. So the first thing I do is I have a look and I can see that in week 4, which is the week beginning the 19th of October, I have a lab report due. It's the first lab report of the semester. I have to present it in workbook form and it's due on Thursday of week 4 and it's worth 12% to me. Then I can see that within the same module I have another lab book report due 2 weeks later. It's also in the same workbook and it's due on the Monday and it's worth 12%. And lastly, then I'm looking at in week 8 needing to provide another lab report in the same format worth the same percentage. So straight away I've got 3 pieces of assessment captured for one of my modules. Then another module that I might take, I've skipped over there to module 4, is engineering maths. So if I have that as a module, my assessment might look something like I have a midterm exam to do. And that's going to happen in week 6. It's in the form of an MCQ, which is a multiple choice question. And it's happening on the Wednesday and it's worth 40% to me. And then another piece of assessment within that same module is a mathematics modelling project, which is going to be done in a group, and that's due on Monday of week 8 and it's worth 60%. So what you can see there is you can very quickly, by capturing across your 5 modules what assessment is being sought after from you, what you have to do and where it needs to be delivered. The important thing to bear in mind is for those 3 lab reports that are due in week 1, they're worth 12%. So the time that you will give to that lab report versus the time that you will need to give to the midterm exam, which is worth 40%, or the group project, which is worth 60%, those time allocations are going to be very different. So bear that in mind when you're looking at how much each piece of assessment is worth.
So I'm sure all of you have given a bit of thought as to how you're going to budget and manage for the semester, and this planner here is useful. Time and money are both wrapped up in each other, and being able to plan for big expenditures, knowing they're coming up, and also to use your time as effectively as you can with part-time work, which many of you will have to do. Many of you will be trying to manage without it now. So I suppose a few tips that I can give is you do need to book time off work when your assessments are coming. Here, the 2 weeks are booked off in the more traditional towards the end when we know assignments are piling up. You may need to be very careful this year to look at exactly when the major percentages are coming up with continuous assessment. So there may be particular times that you might need to look for some leniency or some time off earlier in the semester also.
The Personal Advisor Support System, or Academic Advisors as they are commonly known, are an essential support that are provided to all incoming first years. You are expected to meet them in week 3, but you can meet them sooner if you like. Remember, the sooner you meet your academic advisor, the better. It is also expected that you will meet them or at least talk with them more than once. Remember, academic advisors can be used for a reference in later years, so it is a very, very useful resource to you, and it is definitely worth your while to build up a relationship with your academic advisor. Your academic advisor is there to provide support and help you to be successful in your studies. They provide non-judgmental support during your learning experience, and they will help you come to specific solutions and strategies that will work for you. To simplify it, they're there to provide academic support to you and provide you with guidance. They will help you make important decisions throughout your college journey.
If you're unsure at this point as to who your academic advisor is, it's quite easily found by logging into your student portal, and under your advisor section within the portal you'll find your advisor's name, and the link is at the bottom of this slide.
There are 5 learning centres on campus at UL. These are the Regional Writing Centre, who can help you improve your academic writing and help you develop effective writing skills. The Maths Learning Centre, who are there to provide support with courses that typically require a high level of mathematics. The ICT Learning Centre, this is where you can improve your computer skills and other technological skills. The Science Learning Centre and the Peer Supported Learning Centre. The Peer Supported Learning Centre will provide you with assistance from other students. The most important thing to remember about the learning centres is that they are there to support you, but it is up to you to seek out the help of these learning centres. If you feel that you need help in writing or maths, or you need to brush up on your science or your ICT skills, make sure that you get in contact with one of the learning centres. You can find information on their contact details on the Student Engagement and Success website, or by Googling any of the learning centres themselves.
The Glucksman Library welcomes all new and returning students. Library services will be very different due to COVID-19. Access to the library and printed collections will be limited this year. We strongly encourage all students to access electronic books, online journals and help from off campus. You can access all of these through the library website ul.ie/library. The biggest change in the library this year is that you must book your seat or book a visit in advance before coming into the library building. Study spaces are 2 meters apart, and there are materials available for you to clean down the space before and after use. For your safety, please follow the new rules. You must wear a face mask or covering at all times in the library. Practice good hand hygiene and cough etiquette and comply with the social distancing guidelines. On each floor of the library, you will find a water fountain for refilling your bottles. Food is no longer allowed in the library.
I work at the library's information desk, and we are here to answer all your questions. Whether virtually or in the building, we will support you in every way we can, always maintaining a safe distance.
The library's books and journals are what lecturers expect you to use when you are preparing an assignment. Access to the print collections is limited this year, and there are some changes around returning books, how many books you can borrow, and for how long. More information can be found on the library website. However, there are no limits on the number of ebooks that you can have. You can find ebooks for your assignments by logging into the library website.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm part of a team of UL students here to help you learn how to use the library. We'll answer whatever questions you have. We'll show you where to return your books, how to borrow a laptop, how to use the printing facilities, and how to scan a chapter of a book.
Our librarians can give you expert advice and training through our series of online workshops with a virtual consultation using our Ask Us service. For help finding good material for your assignments, to get to know the best subject resources for your course, and to find out how to do a bibliography for your assignment, visit the library's website to see the details of upcoming workshops that you can attend. Follow the library on social media and be sure to send us a query on Ask Us when you need help.
At the Glucksman Library this year things will be a little different, but our aim is to continue to provide excellent library services with the student at the heart of everything we do. We have a great team of library staff who are looking forward to welcoming and supporting you both online and in person throughout your UL journey.
You can look up everything the library provides access to through the library homepage. If you are looking for a book, type the title of the book into the search box and select Search for a book from the drop-down menu. On your results page, select which item you want to find. EU Administrative Law. As you can see, there are two versions of this book title available, a physical copy and an electronic copy that you can view online. You will be prompted to log into your library account to access the online copy. Note the item's availability and location. If the book is available for checkout, it will say Available at in green. If it is not currently available, it will say Checked out in grey. To retrieve the book, enter into the item record and look for the classification code, also known as a shelf mark, 342.6 CRA. Be aware that the books and other material in the library are organised by subject according to the Dewey Decimal System. Dewey is arranged into 10 disciplines or subjects, ranging from 0 to 999. This number tells you two things, the subject matter of the book and its place on the shelf. Numbers following a decimal point reflect a particular topic in that discipline or subject. That means that the books next to and close by the book that you want are related and probably contain similar information to what you need. Letters indicate the author's surname. CRA in this instance is short for Craig. To borrow the book, take it down to the self-service kiosk on the ground floor of the library and follow the instructions on screen. To help you get acquainted for the resources that are available for your subject, the library has created LibGuides. LibGuides are subject and topic specific guides compiled by the faculty librarians in Glucksman Library. Faculty librarians are always in contact with faculty staff, so they know the materials that are needed for your courses and are aware of what materials are available within the library. These LibGuides will point you to useful books, databases, journals, and other relevant sources related to your particular subject and field of study. Take a look at the list of guides here and find out which subjects are relevant to you. The First Year Experience LibGuide contains all the information that you need to get acquainted with the library during orientation. Here you will find my email address. I provide consultations to students throughout the year, and I also run workshops on topics like finding information for your assignments and introduction to referencing. You can get in contact with me to organise a consultation or to book into one of these workshops. As you will see, there's a calendar here. My workshops are populated here each week, and you will also find a short interactive tutorial on smart searching for your assignments, which I would advise everyone to complete in your free time. That brings us to the final task of today's session, where we ask you to evaluate the content covered. Each year, we update this content and we need you to provide us with feedback to inform our decisions. Your contribution is greatly appreciated. Please follow the instructions and link on screen to answer some short questions.
So just finally, from the Student Engagement and Success Unit, from myself and Deirdre and Jessie, we wish you the very, very best this semester and for the remainder of your year here in UL. It's a fantastic university. Times are slightly different and they will be for a while, but there's still huge opportunity in the fact that you're here as a student within UL, and we wish you all the success and enjoyment in your time here.